Jadis, il avait un grand pays légendaire. Qu'on appelait Is. Sur l'intervention des déesses jumelles et des 600, les grands pays prospéraient. Les déesses avaient un trésor précieux, la perle noire. Elle avait des sortes de pouvoirs mystérieux. Avec la magie, on pouvait faire des miracles. Avec l'éclairia, on pouvait amplifier ses pouvoirs magiques. Grâce à elle, on croyait que les pouvoirs de Is dureraient une éternité. Mais soudain, un désastre frappa Is. Beaucoup de monstres démoniques sont apparus et ont commencé à envahir Is. Les forces diaboliques ont tout fait de ravager la terre, mais tous les habitants sont sauvés dans le temple de Salomon. On aurait dit la fin du monde. C'est alors la perle noire qui sauva Is de la ruine, car elle souleva les temples dans les airs. Mais, aussitôt après ces soulagements fugitifs, les démons ont construit une autre tour, et une nuée de monstres sont partis en direction du sanctuaire. Is menaçait de tomber. Pire encore, un événement imprévu arriva dans le temple de Salomon. Quelle histoire! Les déesses jumelles, les descendantes de Is, ont toutes disparu. Dans une situation désespérée, les 600 ont pris une résolution. Pour constituer une équipe de recherche, ils ont organisé une sélection parmi des chevaliers et des sorciers. Enfin, les 100, ils envahiront à la terre dévastée.
Hello everybody and welcome to Ys Origin. I am your host, and let me tell you a bit about how I was going to do it. I'm going to do full playthroughs with all three characters. That's the only idea I ever had for this game. I couldn't see any other way to do it proper justice. So for this we will be starting with Yunica. More on her a bit later, but first, tree. Yeah, Ys Origin is basically the closest thing the Ys series had to a 20th anniversary game. So you can expect callbacks galore. More callbacks than you can eat. You know, considering the lengths that Adol had to go through to get the Rhodas to talk to him, this is sounding just a little bit ironic. Something the game will push a little bit often at the beginning is that right now the island of Heeeeere is basically the Black Land, full of poisonous fumes and fire and all that other kind of nasty stuff. Oh, I think we all remember this little place. Outsiders? Well, that won't do at all. Yeah. Ys Origin is a bit more cutscene heavy than previous entries. Don't worry, we'll be controlling a character soon enough. Full-body portrait must be important. Okay. These are what we can do basically. Ys Origin is built on the same version of the Nepishtim engine that was used for Ys the Oath in Felghana. Which means there are quite a bit more doodads attached to this than there were to Ark of Nepishtim itself. One of the most notable ones being the Boost, which is a temporary state you can go in which enhances your offensive abilities and cuts all damage you receive in half. It goes up faster the more damaged you are. So if you're being able to use Boost a lot, you're actually in quite a bit of trouble. Yeah, speaking of that axe, it's fun to be playing a game of this sort where I actually have a decent attack range again. Yeah, Bravo team was hit on the way to the tower. Hey there, narrator voice. Yunica can speak for herself, unlike certain other Ys protagonists. Okay, so Ys Origin is basically play-wise a big, long dungeon bash with story bits every now and again. There is no overland exploration or anything of that sort. The entire game takes place inside the Devil's Tower. Yunica, you need to really work on your elevator pitch. Another addition from Oath and Felghana is fast travel. Something I really wished I had in Ark of Nepishtim. Yeah, like an Oath, you can teleport between save points whenever you want, only you get the item that allows you to do that right at the beginning. And there's the Lila shell from East 2. Yeah, another reason I like fast travel to save points is that it allows me to very quickly get out of bad situations, much better than I could in Ark of Napishtim, which is a really big help because in this game you can't actually carry any healing items with you. Okay, let's talk combat. Yunica has a much longer slash combo. One of the features of this game, though, besides that lunge attack, which can temporarily reduce enemy defense, is the experience multiplier. Every time you hit an enemy with any attack, you build up a combo, and every time you hit something, it increases your experience multiplier by 1%. Also, destroying red enemies is key. It allows you to grab things. The experience multiplier only goes up to 1.99 times experience, but it's getting near double experience is still pretty good. So really the first thing you want to do in any room is just take care of all of the monsters first as quickly as you can to get the most experience benefit before you do anything like exploring. Now the thing about glowing red enemies is that they tend to have boosted stats. Attack, defense, sometimes both. Plus they sometimes have different resistances than the normal types. Speaking of resistances, another major difference between Ark of Napishtim and later games that use the Napishtim engine is that in Oath and Felghana and Ys Origin, magic isn't a limited-use super move. Magic is a utility power that's also used very often to aid in attacks, so it's more of a constant addition, even a necessary one to your character's ability, rather than just a nice perk you can activate every so often. The magics very often have environmental utility as well, and we're going to be seeing that right about now. These artifacts also behave differently for each character that uses them, but we'll be seeing that. In general, though, wind is the mobility power which allows you to cross gaps that are larger than you normally could. Oh yes, another thing is that there are very many enemies in this game that are basically new versions of enemies that you fought in Darm Tower in Ys 1. Like those skull statues, the golden soldiers that we just killed a whole lot of, that sort of thing. Well, this is looking familiar. Okay, the save statues are also your shops. SP is gained from enemies, you kill enemies, get SP, blah blah blah, you know how it works. So, again, in this version of the engine, you can't actually carry healing items with you. They're dropped. There are also many other drops that enemies can dump once you've exploded them, such as those potions which increase attack, defense, and magic recovery speed. Magic is based on a fairly quickly recharging mana bar in this game. That's about it for the actual nuts and bolts. This isn't... These games, at least the depiction of these games, aren't hugely mechanically complex. So I'm going to be fumbling around the screen for a little bit. I have heard from a number of sources that the French in the intro is pretty troche. In fact, on the Ancient Land of Ys forums, it was called Flench. Which got me wondering about a couple of other things in other games, like whether or not the German in Castlevania Rondo of Blood is equally bad. Because, as we all know, Konami does not exactly have the greatest reputation for translations, especially not in the 90s. I feel asleep indeed. Sometimes they're writing, to borrow a phrase from Poxnor, it just doesn't English. By the way, even this is a straight to the top dungeon bash, it does reward some degree of exploring. Rhoda fruits. Find them, love them. There's usually at least one in every major section of the tower. Their function will be revealed shortly. Okay, out of the characters that are playable in this game, Yunica has the second best stat layout, or she may even have the best. I'll have to recheck that again. But the second best guy is not that far behind her. She's a very melee-focused character with a bit of ranged utility once she gets certain other magics. But she's not nearly as range-oriented as Hugo is. Okay, like in Oath and Felghana, gems increase the power of your magic somehow. I need to figure out how that actually works, because as far as I can tell, magic damage is still based on your character's base attack like it was in the East too. So many wizards. I'm gonna be sick of wizards by the end of this game. Okay, this is the point where the enemy will stop really giving me good experience, so I won't hack up too many more of them on my way back. Crests and doors. Redfield would be proud. Oh hey, it's a Rue. Now, according to Tom, each of those runes does actually correspond to an English letter, so if you can break the code, there's actually quite a bit of amusing text that will be open to you if you can figure out the Rue's demon speak. So Rhoda fruits are given to Rues, and in return you get cool stuff. You want to get all of the Rhoda fruits. So, to increase our base attack strength, we have to upgrade our weapons by using Heeeeere. You can miss these upgrades, but I would say that getting all of them is pretty non-optional if you want to retain your sanity throughout this game. Otherwise, you're going to have to do a ton of grinding, and this is a game with scaling experience. However, there's no Heeeeere that you can miss for good. This isn't that kind of game. East games tend to never actually lock you into unwinnable states. Not even the really early ones. Can't afford anything? Okay, let's see what that opens up. Well, that's fine. The great and ancient people of Ys also resist falling damage. Yunica also recognizes these people from the opening cutscene. Well, you are people persons. Hey! It's true, but hey! Hey, Zava sounds familiar. Well, that's big. Okay, the first boss on Yunica's route is Vagolian, who some of you might like to forget was the boss of the Rastin Mine in East 1. Thankfully here he's about 10 times more tame, you just need to avoid getting greedy like that. You'll swarm, he'll become complete again, and then you can hit him, and then he will attack either by breathing fire like that or by using the claw he smacked me across the room with. He'll continue this pattern for a while until you knock him below half health. This is when things get interesting. Yeah, one of the characteristics of bosses in Oath and Falgana and Ys Origin is that they tend to change behaviors once they've been reduced to, half health or so. For example, now I have to fight 2 of them. And they don't swarm in sync, so it's very possible for one swarm of bats to run interference for a whole Vagolian, making this a much trickier boss fight. However, it's not exactly anything to write home about either way. Again, don't get greedy and you'll be fine. This fight, it's me getting greedy. Have fun. Oh, right. Can't go back to that save room. Nope. Okay, a key for a locked door that I saw earlier. And the Mask of Eyes. From East 1, we're going to be walking through some walls. Oh dear. Anyway, save here, and I will be seeing you next time when we do more towering. See you then.